I mean, annual credit report is cool and all, but why don't I recommend them? You're about to find out now. What up? You got Mr. Smith, point five of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video, I want to talk about the annual credit report. Many people refer to the annual credit report because they get a chance to see what's on their credit report for one time a year at no cost. That's just a right that you have if you're trying to see what is all on your report. But I'm gonna talk about two main reasons why I don't necessarily recommend them, especially. I mean, it's cool to get, but not solely cool to get, especially if you're trying to boost your credit score, like many of our clients and partners are on the verge of doing just by following our process and steps that we teach or by allowing us to do it for them. So let's talk about it. Annual credit report is basically a site that you can go to and you can get your credit reports pulled, and you can do it one time free per year, which is recommended. Do it just so you can know what's on your report at all times. But don't solely do that if you're trying to restore your credit. Here's why. You see, many people only care about their credit score, not just what's on the credit report. Now, what's on the credit report does affect the score, but with the annual credit report, it allows you to pull the report, but not the score. So it's kind of unfulfillment that goes along with seeing what's on the report if you don't have the score. Now, if you are using multiple sites, then this doesn't apply to you. But solely using annual credit report does not allow you to see the score. You just see what's going on there, but you don't know, or you don't have a clue of what your FICO is or what your Vantage score is, so you can have a gauge on where you are. Because you always want to know where you are so you can determine where you want to be. What's the point of putting in the destination without knowing your current location? So you got to think about it that way. If you want to go somewhere, you got to first know where you are so you can head in the right direction. Otherwise, you'll just go nowhere fast. And that's what I don't want you to do. So make sure you understand that the annual credit report does not determine or tell you what your score is. It just tells you what's on your report. So don't solely rely on that. But if you pull it, make sure you have some other supporting information or documentation that can let you know where your score is, so you can use it because it's great, or do the necessary things that you have to do in order to enhance your score, which is what many people want to do, and I highly recommend it because it's proven that 1 point or one error on your report, one thing being on there erroneous, derogatory, that shouldn't be there, can cost you thousands of dollars, thousands, because this is what you got to understand. The credit bureaus and entities, basically, not even the bureaus, they're just a data company for the most part, but the entities that run your credit or judge you based off your credit have a legal right to discriminate against you if your credit isn't intact. They have a legal right to discriminate against you, and that's perfectly fine. That's not a bad thing. Discriminate is not a bad thing. It's basically you weighing out all of the pros and cons of a scenario and determining whether or not you want to fool with it. Period. We do it all the time as individuals. You have to do that. Some people say, well, you shouldn't judge. Well, you got to gauge. You got to pay attention. You got to be able to make note of what's going on, what's right or wrong, so you can determine if you should fool with this individual, if you should fool with this situation, and make a decision based on your judgment. It's okay to judge. It's okay to do some form of discrimination based on how you judge a thing. And if many people judge things properly and just paid attention to what was going on, then it'll be a lot less of the popular form of discrimination. Because when you get to know a person or a situation and you can gauge them just based off their heart and their intent solely, now you can see a person for what they truly are. So that's the way that the credit game works. They are legally able to discriminate against you due to the fact that you might not have been paying bills on time, due to the fact that you might not have kept the proper utilization on your credit card, like you overspend, and that's okay. But there are also laws that protect you, that allow you to get those things removed so you can start off with a clean slate. So it's not like they discriminate against you without the opportunity for you to build yourself up. You still have the opportunity to build yourself up. You just got to do it, know what you're doing, or hire someone who does know what they're doing. Now, back to the the annual credit report and why I don't necessarily recommend it. Because like I said, you got to know where you are in order to determine where you're wanting to go. And you knowing where you are allows you to dictate and navigate through your credit situation to see what's on there that shouldn't be, and you get those things removed and get those errors off, because it can cost you thousands because they're able to charge you more or charge you a higher interest rate on many things, and over time that costs thousands of dollars, all because you let that sit on your credit report. So even if your credit report is fairly decent, you might still be overpaying on some things that may be costing you thousands that you might not be aware of. So I'm all about keeping more of your money. As you know, we talk about income shifting all the time. Shifting income from entities that are overcharging you, and you putting that money back into your household or investing and growing that money versus letting somebody use your money to build wealth. The second reason why I don't necessarily recommend the annual credit report solely is because of this. If you are on the verge of trying to restore your credit and you pull the annual credit report solely, what happens is that information that's on that documentation allows the credit bureaus and creditors a 45-day window in order to respond to the disputes. Typically, the law states that they have to reply within a 30-day window. And if they don't reply, then there's certain documentation you can send them. They can get certain things removed off of your credit score. And once those things are removed off your credit score, 9 times out of 10, your credit score increases due to the fact that they fail to hold up their end of the bargain, their end of the law. And the laws are there to protect you. But if you give someone a 45-day window, now they got more time to stall or do certain things that can hinder your credit. So what you want to do is shrink the window. You want to shrink the window. If your window at the house was wide open and there was things that can come in and fly out, the first thing you're going to do is close the window. But in this case, we need you to shrink the window of time that they have in order to respond to what it is that you're disputing, to what it is that you're trying to get them to correct, to whatever it is that you're wanting them to address that's affecting your credit negatively and costing you thousands of dollars in the process. So why give them more time if you don't have to? So that's it in a nutshell. Look, it doesn't give you the credit numbers or the numbers, the actual score, and it gives them a bigger window. And when you're dealing with creditors and when you're dealing with the credit bureaus and you care about your credit, then the last thing you want to do is give them more time. You want to use the laws to your advantage, to your full advantage, and maximize your time. So that way you're able to benefit more from the laws that are in place to protect you. And I'm going to end on this note, and this isn't directly associated with the annual credit report. However, this is something, since I spoke on laws that protect you, this is also something that I don't recommend. Now, things may change because a lot of times when enough people do a particular thing, the laws change and start to favor a particular activity. And I love it when that happens. But currently, at the time of this recording, it is not recommended to dispute things online. A lot of times you're able to go onto these bureau sites and you're able to just click a simple button and dispute something. And that's cool. And it looks easy as though, that's something that you should just do. Just go ahead and dispute it. And some people have gotten results and faster results by disputing online. So I'm not here to be naive to the fact that many people have got results. But it's some fine print when it comes along with disputing things online. And that fine print states that you waive many of your rights just because you decided to dispute online. Snail mail is effective. It still works to this day. I was reading something recently that basically said that people who to this day file their taxes via mail are less likely to get audited than someone who does it online. So that made me wonder, I wonder if there's some rights that's being waived just by filing your taxes online. And that's a whole nother conversation. But just wanted to put that out there just so you could be aware, since I spoke on the law. And if you're a person who's trying to restore your own credit, make sure you understand that annual credit reporting is free, but it doesn't provide the scores, and it does give them a bigger window. And what I want you to do is shrink the window. You need a smaller amount of time that they have to reply so you can come with your next round of letters, so you can come with the next plan of action, or you can see those things getting knocked off your credit report and your credit score potentially going up. That's all I got for now, Mr. Smith, point five of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. If you need any assistance on your credit, we have 2 ways that can assist you, 3 to be exact. We got a free credit class that many people are taking advantage of. I believe it'll be down there in the comments. We've also we also have a platform that teaches you how to fix your own credit, and it guides you through the process, provides letters, the whole 9, and people have gotten great results by using that DIY platform. Or if you would like us to assist you in the process, I don't think the link is below. I may put it down there, may not. But if you would like our assistance, be sure to visit Royalty Credit Service, no S, royaltycreditservice.com and reach out. And we don't mind assisting you through your process so we can help get your credit intact. That's all I got, Mr. Smith, point five of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, signing out.